The play-in, LeBron 10th in the West. How you feeling?
It feels like, I mean, excuse my language, but that's what it feels like. You know, I came in with the mindset, understanding it was a playoff type, it was gonna be playoff type atmosphere, playoff implications and things of that nature. So, I knew that from the jump. We also got a lot of guys on our ball club that haven't played in playoff games as well. That plays a lot of big minutes for us. You know, it feels like a wasted opportunity, obviously, for myself and for our team, and we weren't able to get it done.
Listen to this. The mighty have fallen. Of the teams in the West most likely to be in the play-in tournament, the Lakers now have the lowest chance to make it. That, according to our analytics here at ESPN, the Spurs are only one game behind Los Angeles for 10th and hold the conference tiebreaker at the moment. Big Perk. I'm here. Perk, you didn't know this, but I grew up with a diehard Celtics fan, my father, because you grew up in Connecticut, and you guys used to come play at the Hartford Civic Center a few times a year. Yes, it was actually Celtics, Yankees, Giants. Yes, sir. So now I'm rooting for the Celtics just so I could take my dad to a game. Tell me this, bigger headline, that Boston is first in the East or the Lakers are 10th in the West?
You know what? I'm going to leave the Celtics to legs. I feel like he going to go that way. I cannot let the Lakers off the hook. I will not let the Lakers off the hook. And I know I've been telling y'all I'm tired of talking about them, and I really am. But the fact of the matter is this. If the Lakers, forget the title run, being a title contender, forget, making noise in the playoffs. If the Lakers miss the playoffs, which they have a strong possibility of doing, they could be one of the biggest disappointments in NBA history. Period. It's no way around it. We're not talking about them making a run. We're actually talking about them missing the playoffs. With the addition of the play-in tournament, if they can't get into the play-in tournament and make the playoffs, I don't want to hear nothing. I want to give the Celtics all the credit in the world, but I refuse to let the Lakers off the hook. Not with this team, how it was assembled in the offseason, all the future Hall of Famers that came together, LeBron, Melo, Russ, and all this, and all the jibber-jab, keep the same energy about these old heads when the season turn around. I don't want to hear nothing. If the Lakers don't make the playoffs, it will be one of the biggest disappointments in NBA history, period.
Listen, I think you're right on it, Perk. Look, here's the deal. Molly, you asked the question, what's the bigger headline? Well, the bigger headline is about the Lakers because LeBron James is still on that roster, and you're talking about a team that potentially could be sitting at home when the playoffs start watching on television, okay? But the better story is clearly the Boston Celtics because go back to the beginning of the season, and look, they made a coaching change in the offseason. Ime Udoka came in, and a lot of people believed that he was going to be a rising star in this profession. But we didn't know that, 2 months in. You were still looking at this team saying, I see a lot of the same things that I saw the last couple of years when I felt like they were ISO dominant. I felt like they make a lot of tough two-point shots between their star forwards. I didn't see a big change. But it goes to show you, it takes time for a coach to really put his stamp on a team. And now you look up, and this team has gone 22-3 in their last 25 games. All right, this is a team now that has become one of the top defensive teams in the NBA. And here's what's most important. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have been together a long time now. This is by far the best offense they have played at the same time since they have been teammates. That is a scary proposition for the rest of the league because you're talking about two star forwards with length. They can shoot the ball from deep, mid-range, and get to the rim. So they can beat you on every platform, and they're doing it on the same night. It used to be my turn, your turn type of offense with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Now it's pretty much every night. You can dial in 50 on a bad night, 70 on a good night for these two players. And then what's most important for me, what about the supporting cast? They're getting great defensive protection from Robert Williams, who's finishing everything. They're getting great guard play off the bench with Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. Tice was a great addition to bring back to Boston where he's been most comfortable. Al Horford, a veteran voice in the leadership. You know what you're getting with Marcus Smart every night. So now you look at them, and it's primarily because the efficiency of Tatum and Brown has gone to a different place than it ever was before. This is a legitimate championship contender. And if you asked anybody 2 months into the season, you wouldn't have found one person that would have made that statement about the Boston Celtics. And yet here we are with the potential to host every single round in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Unthinkable even 2 months ago.
Legs, I was one of them. Listen, I was saying break them up. Okay, break them up. And you know how I am with the Boston fan base and how I am with the Boston organization. It has been an emotional roller coaster. Look, let me point this out to the people out there. At one point of the season, the Celtics record was 23-24. 23-24. They were one game below 500. And all of a sudden, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum had a coming to Jesus meeting. They had a coming to Jesus meeting outside of basketball. And so the connection started being there, the chemistry, the togetherness. And look, we sitting up here talking about Devin Booker, and rightfully so, entering the MVP conversation. Well, I tell you what, Jason Tatum should be in the MVP conversation as well. I'm not saying he should be the front runner, but his name should be mentioned because he's on everybody's heels like a pair of church socks right now, squeezing them. And for the simple fact that he has the Celtics at the number 1 seed in the best conference, that speaks volumes. But I'm with you, Legs, but I just couldn't let the Lakers off the hook. I refuse to let them off the hook.
Now, hey, look, I don't blame you. And look, my final thought on the Celtics is this. For people that have not been watching them every night, if you're just looking at the standings now and you're an NBA fan, you wake up one day and you go, wow, man, the Boston Celtics number 1, how's that happening? Just watch them play and you get a better feel. Look, there are 5 teams, and I'm including Brooklyn in it because they've got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You can't exclude them from title talk. So there's 5 teams in the East. When you look at those 5 teams, the only 2 that really have their act together right now are Milwaukee and Boston. Miami couldn't be playing any worse. We just talked about James Harden and how he looks physically, and obviously with what Brooklyn is going to have to do potentially coming out of a play-in, and you don't even know if you're going to get Ben Simmons at any point. Those 3 teams have a lot of things to figure out at the wrong time of the year. Boston and Milwaukee clearly right now playing a different level of basketball than everybody else in the East.
No, and the East obviously wide open, and it's great here at ESPN. We have the Eastern Conference Finals. I can't wait. But I want to go back to what you brought up in Tatum and Brown. What would you say, Perk? Where do they rank amongst the best tandems in the NBA right now? Because we've hyped a lot of other duos.
Well, they're top 5. They're top 5. And I feel like Jaylen Brown, he flies under the radar. Like, and this is the reason why he got named Jaylen Underappreciated Brown, is because we don't appreciate what he's doing. Like, this guy's averaging 24, and you know the great thing about it is that now he has taken a backseat to Jason Tatum, and he's okay with it. But when you look at these 2 young studs, these guys that's not even 25 years of age, they're a top 5 duo in this league. I don't know where they fall, but I know they top 5. I don't know if they number 3. I don't know if it's number 4. Again, like I told you before, Molly, it's whatever your preference is. If you want to drink hen or you want to drink Ciroc, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both will get you drunk, okay?
No, Big Perk, I'm with you. I'm just drinking water. Just water and cardio right now. Legs, where are you on this?
No, he's 100% right. Like I always say, look, do you like steak or you like sushi? I like them both. So I'm going to order both, all right? And that's what you get with them. And look, here's the thing about these 2 guys. As good as they have been, not good, they've been exceptional over this stretch. Here's the key. They are going to now have to do the same thing and navigate their way through the postseason, okay? So because it's going to leave you with an empty feeling if they play this well for this long and they finish the season this way. By the way, they're not just beating people right now. They are smoking people right now. They have as many 30-point wins during this stretch as they do losses total. That's how dominant they have been. But now you've got to make sure that translates to the postseason when here's what's going to happen. Teams get one team to focus on. It's the Boston Celtics. So now there's all kinds of defensive adjustments that are going to be thrown their way. Can they beat you as a facilitator? Because they're going to see more double teams, more coordinated defensive schemes because they only have to worry about 2 players. So can you handle that? Can you beat somebody as a passer if that's what the situation requires? Can you make a tough contested shot late in the game in a one-possession game in a series-defining moment. So there are still a lot that they've got to accomplish. But right now, I'm with Perk. You got to put them in the top 5,
Yeah.
but you got to also wait and see what they do in the postseason.